मला पुढची द्याल. Yeah. The first one was easy.
हाँ वही सबसे इजी होता है चार बार एमसीक्यू नहीं निकालना.
तो सेकंड में क्या हुआ?
कुछ ज्यादा लिखा आंसर सही है मेरे को नहीं.
What does the passage suggest that modern medicine's impact on health?
ऐसा लग रहा था मैम कहाँ से निकालते हैं इसको. इतने सैंपल पेपर से हमारे मैम से एक सैंपल पेपर पहला वाला मिल गया सेकंड वाला का नहीं. हम लोग बोले थे ना मैं मसाला में से डाल के लेके आती हमारी.
You could do, no? Whose villa is that? Okay. The district magistrate visited every flood affected area. Rachel could have brought the bicycle, but she didn't have enough money. Yeah. This is a hospital, and you must not talk loud. It is very cold.
ग्रामर को बस 5 मिनट लगे.
Think it might snow later. Very good. This paper was very good. From the young name. ED. The long time papyrus was used for a long time, yes, as writing material before by a chemist. Very good. So more or less, you've got all for good for grammar, huh? Creative writing. You could write this, huh? अच्छे से लिखा ना? Whole, then part by part, and then the conclusion. लिखा ना?
और मेरे को एक काम में कितना डर लगा था. मैं इसलिए आर्टिकल पैराग्राफ डालूंगी, आर्ट डालूंगी, चार्ट डालूंगी, पता नहीं कितना होगा.
Grandfather is very upset about the rising prices and keeps thinking of his old times when things were very cheap. You are convinced that inflation has made life difficult for the editor. You are Neha Singh, computer in charge of it.
बस मैम बस लाइक कि तुमने कंप्यूटर के पार्ट्स का टेबल नहीं बनाया तो कुछ है.
20 computers and computer accessories. Draft a letter placing an order. Okay. You wrote the letter?
placing an order.
Okay. Concession मांगा?
हाँ.
पक्का? फिर कैश कैसे दोगे? पैसा कैसे दोगे?
सब ऑर्डर करने के बाद तुम्हें कैश.
हाँ. सब लिखा ना? I had told you to read. सीधे वो जो तुमने लिखा है ना, वो ही वर्ड्स यूज करके इसके लिए तुम लिख सकते हो.
हमको बस एक कंसीडर की टेबल नहीं बनाना चलेगा. क्योंकि मैम लोग ने नहीं बनाया. इसमें तो जैसे मेंशन नहीं है कि तुम्हें करना है. कंप्यूटर सेट में मतलब पूरा पार्ट्स सारे पार्ट्स.
Right now, all this. Question paper में. There is anxiety that paper of you has more patience than people. ये किया ना? हम लोग ने ये by heart किया था आंसर. Why did you in consumer going get shocked when the writer asked how banana is? I did the principles from
चैप्टर में नहीं किया है. वो नहीं कुछ
visiting Assam.
वो ये चैप्टर है लाइक
टी प्लांटेशन हम लोग ने किया नहीं है अभी तक.
साधा फर्स्ट
the cycle of the human. Okay. अभी तक क्या क्या किया हम लोग ने फिर? So we have done
मंडे लेक्चर में आपको लगा मैं एब्सेंट थी।
नहीं, मंडे का लेक्चर था ही नहीं ना तुम्हारे लिए।
कैंसिल करवा दिया, डिनर होगा तो एब्सेंट थी।
नहीं नहीं,
मेरे को कैंसिल करवा
हाँ, और मुझे लगा तुम्हारी एग्जाम होगी ना।
पता नहीं मैम ने मैसेज क्या पूछ के नहीं होगा क्लास।
हाँ हाँ, क्योंकि ना इनका थोड़ा पोर्शन पीछे था, तो इसलिए वी स्टार्टेड विद ग्लिम्पसेस ऑफ इंडिया। हम लोग ने गोवा किया।
टी फ्रॉम असम का वही लास्ट पार्ट।
अच्छा, कुर्ग भी किया ना, तो टी फ्रॉम असम। It's a very small lesson. Yeah. Ranjal, a youngster from Assam, is Rajveer's classmate at school in Delhi. Pranjal's father is a manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam, and Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacation. Okay, so Pranjal के डैडी क्या है? Manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam, and Pranjal has a school friend. His name is Raj, and they both are traveling by the train. And where are they going? They are going from Delhi to Assam. Okay. Chai garam, garam chai, a vendor called out in a high-pitched voice. Read.
He came up to their window and asked, Chai saab, give us 2 cups, Pranjal said. They said the steaming hot liquid, almost everyone in their compartment was drinking freely. Do you know that over 80 crore cups of tea are done every day throughout the world? Rajveer said. Phew, exclaimed Pranjal. Tea really is very hot. The train pulled out of the station. Pranjal buried his nose in this detective book. Rajveer, who was an ardent fan of detective stories, but at the moment he was keen on making rather beautiful scenery. It was clean everywhere. Rajveer had never seen so much greenery. Then the soft green paddy fields came away to tea bushes.
Okay. So Rajveer was busy looking outside because he had never seen such greenery before. They were all paddy trees, and suddenly paddy trees gave way. मतलब paddy trees खत्म हुए, और now what could he see? He could now see soft green paddy trees gave way to tea bushes. He could see tea bushes everywhere.
It was a magnificent view. Against the backdrop of densely wooded hills, a sea of tea bushes stretched as far as the eye could see.
Dwarfing the tiny tea plants.
Their tall, sturdy, shade trees, and amidst the orderly rows of bushes
busily
moved on like figures.
समझा क्या हो रहा है? Against the backdrop of dense wooded hills. The hills were all dense. किस चीज से dense थे? Tea bushes. Tea bushes ना पूरे hill पे one could see the tea bushes. And the tea bushes are small. Dwarf means small. And what was dwarfing? In between there were tall trees giving shade to these tea bushes. And amidst them, उनके बीच में से, who was moving? Doll-like figures. Who were these doll-like figures? The women who were plucking the tea leaves. In the distance was an ugly building with smoke billowing out of tall chimney. Hey, a tea garden! Rajveer cried excitedly. Pranjal, who had been born and brought up on the plantation, didn't share Rajveer's excitement. Oh, this is tree country now, he said. Assam has the largest concentration of plantation in the world. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. I have been reading as much as I could about tea, Rajveer said. No one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. What legends? Legends mean stories, old stories. This is what legends. Read.
Well, there is a one about the Chinese emperor who always boiled water before drinking it. One day, a few leaves of the dates burning under the pot fell into the water, giving it a delicious feeling. It is said they were tea leaves. Tell me another scholar of Pranjal. We have an Indian legend too. Bodhigan, an ancient Buddhist ascetic. Cut off his eyelids because he felt sleepy during meditation. 20 plants flew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants were put in hot water and drunk, vanished sleep. He was first drunk in China, Rajgir, as far back as 2700 BC. In fact, words such as tea, chai, and chini are from Chinese. He came to Europe only in the 16th century and was drugged more as medicine than as beverage. The tea clattered into Mariani Junction. The boys collected their luggage and pushed their way to the crowded plant. Rancho's parents were waiting for them. Soon they were driving through Tekia Valley, the tea garden managed by Rancho's family. An hour later, the car veered sharply off the main road. They crossed a cattle village and entered Tekia Valley Tea Estate. On both sides of the gravel road were acre upon
acre upon acre.
of tea bushes, all neatly pruned to the same
Pruned means cut. Neatly pruned to the same height. You could see the acres and acres of land with tea bushes, and they were neatly pruned to the same height.
group of tea pluckers with bamboo baskets on their backs, wearing plastic aprons, were plucking the newly sprouted leaves. Pranjal's father slowed down to allow a tractor pulling a trailer load of tea leaves to pass. This is the second flush or sprouting period, isn't it, Mr. Bruno? Naturally. It lasts from May to July and yields the best. He seemed to have done your homework before coming. Pranjal's father said in silence. Yes, Mr. Bruno. Rajveer admitted, but I hope to learn much more when I am my age.
So they call it, there is first flush, second flush. So first flush is, they don't take any leaves, they only take the tender leaves that are on top. Okay, so first flush is when from the month of March to April, March and April is the, when they cut, no, that is first flush. They cut the tops. Those trees, those leaves are not very strong. Okay, so they are for green tea and all. They sometimes use first flush. So it gives a very weak tea. So some people like weak tea. They use first flush. Then again, वहाँ से the leaves grow. Then the leaves that grow in the month of April, in the month of May, June, July, those leaves are cut again. Those are called second flush. Okay, those leaves are more strong because the sunlight is strong in month of May, June, July, and therefore the leaves are also have a strong flavor.
I have seen cutting.
Cutting.
Coffee flavors. If I do tea, but they were showing.
Okay. So Uti also has a lot of tea plantations and coffee plantations.
I brought one coffee, it lasted for 1 year. It was amazing for me at exam.
So that is about the tea from Accra. Now, what question did they ask about this? Pranjal?
Why did Pranjal's father say that Rajveer had done his homework before visiting us?
Yeah, why did he say?
Because
Because Rajveer could identify that the truck was, the tree carried by the truck was a
second flush.
second flush.
And he answered all the questions before he could insist.
Yes, and but then how that he knew that this is the truck carrying the tea leaves was a second flush as the sprouting tea, second flush, and that the period of second flush lasts from May to July, and that is the best tea. ये information उसे था. Okay, so and therefore he could understand that he had done the homework. What two legends does he tell about this?
And Chinese person who always used to boil water.
Chinese person,
Yeah.
Chinese king,
Okay.
Chinese emperor.
Scientists think you always used to boil water before drinking, but accidentally some pot leaves.
One day, few leaves of the twigs burning under the pot fell into the water. Few leaves from the twig burning under the pot fell into the boiling water
Ancient Indian
and gave it a delicious flavor.
then Bodhidharma who cut out his eyes.
Bodhidharma was a Buddhist ascetic saint, a Buddhist monk, you can say. And he cut off his eyelids. Why? He was feeling sleepy during meditation.
And it was believed that 10 tea plants were grown up by his eyes.
Wherever the eyelids said, 10 tea plants grew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants, when put in the hot water, vanished and drunk, vanished easily. Now you write that answer because that question is asked. Do you have your volume? What is Dekia Bari?
The name of the estate of
Tea garden managed by Rajasthan. How do you know that tea is a popular drink?
In 16th century, when the tea came in Europe, it was drunk more as a medicine than as
How do you know about the popularity of the beverage? How do you know it's a popular beverage? How much tea is drunk?
more than
More than 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. At every platform of India, one can hear vendors selling tea, and tea is readily available everywhere. Okay? So that tells us that it's a popular beverage. Why wasn't Pranjul as excited as Rajvi?
because he was already born.
He was born on plantation.
And he already sleeping.
He was very familiar with the tea plantations and all the activities that happened there, and therefore he was not as. Right, one first question. Right, what are different legends related to tea leaves? What are different legends related to tea leaf? And describe the scenery that excited Rajvi.
So, two legends regarding tea. Did you write the answer?
Yeah. Done? Both the answers? Good job. So, should we go to the next lesson? Now, should we go to the next poem then? Yeah, the next poem is because the lesson is long. We may not finish it. The making of a scientist. Have they done it in your school? Making of a scientist? The long one. So this poem is also a little difficult, but just try to understand. Now, this poem is described in two different ways. Hmm,
It is something about deforestation.
yes. Actually, this poem, no, I don't know how your teacher might describe it. But this poem, I'll tell you, is described in two ways. One is your trees are understand tree as women because Adrienne Rich was a feminist writer. So she's actually tree means she is talking about women. But in the other ways, they are saying that trees are like not maybe have cut down all the trees and therefore the forest is uh, without trees. And now all these trees want to go back. That means the forest wants its tree back. But how you understand this, whenever I read the trees, you understand it means women. This poem was written many years ago uh, when women were not allowed to do so many things. They were not allowed to go out. They were not allowed to take up jobs. They were not allowed to educate. They were only allowed to sit at home. They were only allowed to take up home responsibilities. So they were rooted in the house.
My guess it's far better now in this century to like sit in room.
So, okay. So the women are now want to break that house and come out. Okay. So he's saying the trees inside are moving into the forest. What is forest? Forest means this world of mankind. All these years, the world of mankind was without women. The women were not allowed in this. They were only in the house. So imagine a tree is planted in the house. It will never grow to its full potential. It will be stifling for it. It cannot grow here with the walls. Okay. So these trees, that means women, have now decided that they are moving out into the forest. The forest that was empty all these days. The forest was empty all these days. There were no women. Women were not allowed. Where no bird could sit, no insect hide, no sun bury its feet in shadow or shadow. The forest that was empty all these nights will be full of trees by morning. So he says that, see, why does she call woman tree? Because the way tree is nurturing, the woman is also nurturing. She's nurturing everyone in the house. So when she goes out, there also she nurtures everyone like a tree. So these trees were not in the forest. When the trees were not there, no bird could sit. Birds couldn't nest. No insects could hide inside these trees. Even the sun would not make shadows of these trees. Okay, because the world was open without any trees. The forest was without any trees. But the forest that was empty all these nights will be full of trees by morning. Tomorrow is a morning. Morning is a new hope, new day. So in the morning, and this is the night of ignorance. Okay, and morning represents hope. So this is a night of ignorance where there are no trees, and in the morning they plan to go out. All night the roots work to disengage themselves from the cracks. For so many years they've lived in this house. The roots have gone deep. You know, the women were told, this is your job. It's your job to look after the children. It's your job to cook in the house. So she is also deep rooted in the house.
It's some thinking of my class.
It is? So, so they also have to disengage themselves. The trees have been growing in the house. So before going out, they have to uproot themselves from the house. They have to remove all those deep-rooted roots out. All night, therefore, the roots work. What are the roots working for? Disengage themselves from the cracks in the veranda floor. The leaves, they strain towards the glass. Small twigs, stiff with exertion, long cramped boughs, shuffling under the roof. All parts of this tree is struggling to break open these walls and the house and move out. The leaves are trying to break the strain towards the glass. Small twigs, they are also trying to push the walls and they are tired and stiff. Long boughs, long branches, they are cramped. They're cramped because they can't grow, right? Therefore, they're cramped under the roof. Like newly discharged patient, half dazed, moving to the clinic door. So they're saying the patient, when he's in the hospital, nobody wants to be in the hospital. Though he knows that he's getting cured here and it is safe here. The minute he's discharged, he wants to rush home. He wants to rush home. So these trees are like that. Though they are half dazed, they are not cured yet. They struggle because they were struggling all this while to disengage themselves. They are tired, but they want to rush out in the forest. The poet says, I sit inside, doors open to the veranda, writing long letters in which I scarcely mention the departure of forest from the house. She says that she's sitting she sits inside and the door is open. So from inside she can see the veranda and she's writing letters. In these letters, she scarcely mentions the departure, she can see how trees are disengaging themselves, how they're struggling to go out, but she doesn't write about them. Why do you think she doesn't write? Because she thinks all these years nobody cared. Why will they care now if she writes? The night is fresh. The whole moon shines in the sky still open. Just you can see from the house, the night is fresh. The moon is shining. The sky is open. The smell of leaves and lichens still reaches like a voice into the rooms. These trees which are trying to move out, their struggle is leaving the smell of leaves. And lichen is the fog, the moss that grows, that. So she can get the smell. My head is full of whispers. which tomorrow will be silent. No, she can hear, she can hear the whispers. She knows what was spoken about and what they had planned, how they had planned to go out in the world, how they had struggled. And tomorrow, when these trees go out, the whispers will be silent. Listen, she says, listen, the glass is breaking. The trees are stumbling forward into the night. Winds rush to meet them. The moon is broken like a mirror. Its pieces flash now in the crown of the tallest oak. So she says, she's sitting there because she knows, no, that today is the day when all these trees are going to go out of the house in the forest. I mean, the women, they are rebelling. They want to be in the open world. They want their freedom. They want to go out and work. They want to take a career. They want to live their life. So she says, look, the glass is breaking. The trees are trying to go out of the house. And then she sees the trees coming out. And the wind suddenly rushes to meet them. That is, she can hear the rustling of the leaves. The moon is broken like mirror. Its pieces flash. Why does the moon looks broken into pieces? Now this long, tall tree has come in her way. See, earlier there was no tree, there were no trees, everything was open, and she could see the full moon. Now the tree has come out, and when the tree comes out, the tall oak tree, from the branches, now she's seeing the leaves, the moon, and the moon looks as if it is broken into, as if the glass is broken into pieces. I'll show you the picture. You'll have to come this side because this I don't know how to turn. No, last time also I tried and then it goes and something happens. So I avoid doing it. कहाँ से यहाँ पे I find it difficult to do here. I don't know how to. One minute, I'll show you on my phone. That's easy.
Why India is a middle of
Hmm?
why India is a middle of
Male-dominated country. Not just India, the whole world is a male-dominated world.
In India, especially because of that.
What?
We read in the textbook that there was nothing mentioned. When the women tried to like go to the world wars and everything, they told Mahatma Gandhi told that you are women, you should take care of their house. It's a job.
It's not because of Mahatma Gandhi.
Some kind of things is something mentioned. I don't know why the people think this is like तुम लोग लड़कियों को बाहर नहीं छोड़ेगा ना तो मुझे जूते दिखवाएंगे हमसे
क्या
they are like कि अभी की जनरेशन की लड़कियों को तुम लोग कहीं बोला नहीं कि काम मत करो बेटे तुम लोग जेल में जाओगे तो वो जूते दिखवाएंगे उधर घर पे
see this picture
mainly forest areas I have seen
yeah so here the moon looks as if it is broken into broken glass
it's like मैंने village areas में you think that the ghost will appear and then the night it's like
so that's the poem. Just read the poem once. This poem will be in which book? I'll get the volume 3 from. Read the poem and tell me if you have understood it. This is a little difficult poem because there are 2, 3 meanings here. Then, okay, I'll ask you a few questions. Huh? Where are the trees moving out?
When the trees moving out to the grass, they are moving out to the forest.
They are going out into the forest. Why was the forest empty?
Uh, as per like the trees, they were cut it down and there was nothing left in it.
Okay, as the trees were cut down, there was nothing left into the forest, left in the forest. What is the effect of empty forest on birds, insects, and sun?
That birds could not sit on the trees, insects could not hide on the trees, and the sun cannot bury its shadow.
Bury its shadow under the tree. Yes. What are the roots doing all night?
They're struggling to come out the cracks of the ground.
Yes. Trying to disengage themselves or to come out. So we'll do. What do the leaves strain toward? Why do the leaves strain towards the glass?
So they can break it open and
Move out. Very good. What have small twigs become? They're hard with exertion. They become hard with exertion. What is the poetess doing?
sitting inside the
House
house
and writing.
long
Yes, letters. Does she mention the departure of the forest in the letter? Okay. She does not mention. How is the night?
The night is fully fresh and the full moon.
What is the smell of leaves compared to?
Listen.
No, compared to the voice. The smell of leaves is reaching the room like a voice compared to a voice. What is echoing in her mind? Whispers from the trees. When will these whispers be silent? The next morning. What can you hear breaking?
Glass.
And why?
Because from forward, they're trying to get out.
They are breaking the tree glass and trying to move out of the house into the forest. What is broken into pieces? To do this multiple choice 1 and 2. Done? Tell me the first answer. Why were the trees inside?
They were at the house.
They were captivated by man. They were captivated by man. They were inside the house because they were kept there.
As there were trees in the forest which are the following trees were so. But it should be all of the above.
As there weren't tree in the forest. Yes.
Yes.
Insect shelter, breakage of moonlight. Yes. Yes. As there weren't trees into the forest, which of the following things wasn't possible? All the things weren't possible.
We can put the pointed device usually ready. The trees inside are moving out into the forest.
Personification.
Choose a word that doesn't state the correct meaning of the word conceal.
Bury
Conceal.
is show. Conceal is to hide. Bury, hide, cover, everything means bury. Show.
What does the lion goes and bury its feet in shadow? I guess the feet is or the first one.
Scatter through the canopy of trees. The sun rays couldn't reach the earth. Sun rays couldn't scatter through the canopy. Hey, this is a what does it mean? The sun couldn't hide its feet means the sun couldn't come to the couldn't have the shadow, no? So couldn't reach the earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
According to the poem,
Scatter through the canopy of trees. Yeah, the second one sounds better. According to the poet, what is the actual place for trees?
large forest.
Yes. How are the small twigs of these plants? Yes. What does the use of stiff and roots trying to free themselves suggest here?
Both A and C.
Trees are kept at wrong place. Trees require open large places. Yes.
What are the ghosts compared to a newly discharged fish?
Yes. Very good. I give you two questions here. Where are the trees in the poem? What do their roots, their leaves, and their twigs do? Write this answer, and I'll give you the next one. Tell me the answer first. Where are the trees in the poem?
Present in the house.
The trees are in the house. Deep rooted in the house. Okay. What do their leaves, what do their roots, their leaves, and their twigs do?
The roots walk all the night to dissipate themselves from the grass in the veranda floor.
Very
While
good.
the leaves strain toward the grass and the twigs are cordon
Yes. These are
stiff due to the exertion.
exertion. Done? Next question. What happens to the house when the trees move out of it? When the yes,
And this was silent.
yes, very good. The glass breaks, whispers of the trees become silent, and the whispers vanish, and the house is quiet. Okay, good job. Right. Done? And there is one more question here. How does the poet describe the moon? At the beginning of the third stanza and at the end. What causes the change?
The beginning of the first chapter, the poet says that the full moon is shining in the open sky in the fresh light.
Yes, very good.
While the end of the stanza, she describes that the moon has broken down into pieces like a broken mirror,
Good job.
and it shines out on the heads of the
Tallest, tallest oak tree. Very good. Why does it happen that way? Because
the trees move out of the house.
yes, and the oak tree covers some of the shine of the moon, and therefore it is seen in parts. Okay, because it covers the shine of the moon, it is seen in parts. Very good.
And that
Yeah, these boys haven't come, no? Yet. Where the trees moving out into the forest. Because they cannot grow in the house to its full potential. They need freedom. And check if they are coming today. They have not, usually they come, no?
they will come. They will enter into words. Now they are cartoons.
Yeah, because their portion is lagging behind. So I'm worried.
They have next chapters, but the chapters are very
The chapters are lengthy, yeah.
Rapper, chicken rapper, Julia Caesar, Julia Caesar. अरे वो मनी आने वाला था ना बाहों में।
अच्छा वो, अरे वो
अजब मेरे बाहों में, बिटिया रानी अजब मेरे बाहों में।
मैं तो गंदा वाला गाली मेरा से हमसे सबसे और मेरा गाली से
अजब मेरे बाहों में बिटिया रानी।
भाई जो बताते हैं क्या चीज है?
हाँ पता है
और मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ दबा के काम चला रहा हूँ
ऐसे दबा दबा के यूज कर रहा है।
अरे यार खूब चल रहा है
मैं तेरे को दबा के यूज करूँ क्या ऐसे बस
वो नहीं लाया
हाँ नया
चूसी खेलना है
नहीं बच्चा नहीं वो देखिए
बिट एस
नहीं
ये कुछ नया होता है क्या इंस्टा
इस साहेब बदला गया जर्मनी
साहेब
हाँ
साला फर्स्ट क्लास में है
ये बच्चा से क्या
बिजनेस क्लास है भाई मेरे को नहीं चाहिए कि जब मैं बड़ा बच्चा हूँ तब यूटी मेरा ये छापे और इनफाइनाइट मनी ग्लिच बनाऊं कि जितने दिन मैं यूटी आया हूँ ना भाई जिससे तो गोलकीपर होएगा ही नहीं
मैं तो उसको बोलते हैं
भाई साहब इसको भी देखता है तू मैं भी देखता हूँ
भाई इस बंदे का कितना अकाउंट है एक सेकंड ही दूसरा अकाउंट है इसका फिर इसका तीसरा अकाउंट भी है
पागल है क्या पागल है क्या तो मेरे पास ये पागल है क्या तू
पहले मतलब
हाँ हाँ मैं भी करता हूँ तू करता है तू करता है इंग्लिश जब भी क्यों पढ़ रही हूँ पता नहीं ये क्यों पढ़ती है तू जाना ये तो जाना
लेके बंद करिएगा
सारे क्यों कौन सा क्लास में है तीन तो पढ़ तू तीन
चलिए
सब्जेक्ट
फुटबॉल के बोल फुटबॉल में
इसमें कौन कौन ऐड होएगा
चला
नहीं भाई ग्रुप बनाना पड़ेगा
शेड तो ऑलरेडी है
हाँ
उसका नाम वेरी टाइम इसमें एक बच्चा ही दिया
सिद्धांत बच्ची ओ वो टॉकिंग टू समवन
hello now keep the phone
like the phone and you talking to
दोस्त है
कौन सा दोस्त है
दोस्त है जा लड़की से बात करो तो भी प्रॉब्लम अपनी बेस्ट फ्रेंड से बात करो तो भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं
I had this PPT, but then I did not get it on the pen drive. So I could show you the mariner, how he looked, the green eyes and the white beard. Okay, how he captured how he held him captive. याद है ना कल हम लोगों ने जो पढ़ा था? With his eyes, with his green eyes. And then see here, he was sitting there on these are these three friends, three guests. ऐसे करो क्या? Maybe you can see. These are these three guests who are going for the wedding. And he got hold of one.
तो बाकी लोगों को ध्यान नहीं रहा,
हाँ,
बाकी लोगों को ध्यान नहीं रहा.
बाकी लोगों को ध्यान नहीं रहा.
But this is old. Old, but old. And gold is gold.
और कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग है क्या? The ship was sheared and the ship left. This is how the old ships used to be, no?
Yes.
So, uh, the sun came upon the left, out of the sea came he. So, फिलहाल मैं यहाँ पे रखती हूँ for you to see.
Yes.
Page number
114.
Okay. The sun came upon the left, out of the sea came he मतलब कौन? हाँ, just पढ़ते हैं एक बार. He मतलब कौन? The sun. And he shone bright on the right, went down into the sea. Left से चढ़ के कहाँ तक जा? Right में नीचे गया. तो हम कहाँ जा रही थी ship? The ship was sailing towards south. Higher and higher every day till over the mast at noon. The wedding guest here beat his chest, for he heard the loud bassoon. So, क्या हुआ? He said higher and higher it went every day. The sun was rising higher till over the mast at noon. Finally, we reached a place where the sun was over the mast. That means they had reached equator. Equator पे क्या होता है? The sun is directly ऊपर होता है जब noon time. They had reached equator. They had crossed equator. Suddenly, what did the wedding guests started doing? Started beating chest. Hurry, I have to go, I have to go. Why? Suddenly his spell broke when he heard the loud bassoon. Bassoon is this musical instrument that is being played during the weddings. Okay, he heard the sound of that and it's cast spell. So, here the wedding guest, he beat his breast, yet he cannot choose but hear. He beat his breast, but he was caught by our mariner. उसकी नजरों ने उसको पकड़ के रखा था. His gaze had caught his attention. He could not choose but hear, and thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. And thus, our bright-eyed mariner started further telling the story. Mariner matlab the one who is on the ship. The ship, the person on the ship is known as the mariner. Sailor. And now the storm blast came, and he was tyrannous and strong. And suddenly there was this strong wind strong storm. And he was tyrannous. Who was tyrannous?
Storm.
The storm. The storm. Sudden storm. Tyrannous means cruel. Very severe storm started blowing. He struck with overtaking winds and chased us south along. And this storm, it just dragged the ship. As if it just caught the ship with its wings and dragged the ship further
Yes, sir.
south. Already here, na? Okay. With sloping masts and dipping prow as who pursued with yell and blow, still tread the shadow of his foe, and forward bends his head. The ship drove fast, loud roared the blast, southward we fled. ये पता है ना क्या हुआ? So the ship was dragged towards the south, and I'm trying to see if there is a picture. 1 minute for you to see. Check. Here. So this is like the ship was literally the top part of the front portion of the sea was lit in the her head was forward bent and inside the water. Okay, and it was getting dragged southward. And now there came both mist and snow, and it grew wondrous cold. When it went further down south, suddenly there was mist, fog, and snow. And it grew very, very cold. And ice, mast high, came floating by as green as emerald. और क्या था? कुछ भी नहीं था. There was icebergs as big as the mast of the
Ship.
no, the ship.
The ship.
Mast of the ship. ये जो mast होता है ना ऊपर का area. उतना like that high there were ice. The ice was floating around, and in the sun it was shining green like emerald. So that the ship got dragged towards deep south. Suddenly it became very cold. There was ice everywhere. And through the drifts, the snowy cliffs did send a dismal sheen. No shapes of men or beasts we ken. The ice was all between. So he says that one could see nothing. There was not a single man. There was no ship. There was ice everywhere. There was only ice through the drifts. There was floating ice. Drifts is floating ice. Through the snowy cliffs. Tall mountain-like icebergs. So there were tall mountain-like icebergs. There were floating ice. There was nothing around. Not a single man could be seen. They could not see anything but ice. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in the swamp. So it was like ice everywhere. But could see the ice cracking, breaking, growling, roaring in the all around the ship. The noises that they could, the noises were such constant noises that the mariners felt as if they were going to faint. They were going to faint because of these noises, sounds of the breaking ice and the chill and the cold. At length they cross an albatross. तभी उन्होंने क्या देखा? एक albatross bird वहां पे आ गया. At length did cross an albatross. Through the fog it came, as it had been a Christian soul, we hailed it in God's name. So they saw a bird flying there. And then as they were as a Christian soul, that means they were all believed that we should look after the birds and bees. As a Christian soul, they all hailed. That means they cheered for him as if he was a God's messenger. Okay, they all cheered for him because they had not seen anything for days. No ship, no man, nothing, only ice. And when they saw the albatross bird, they all cheered as if he was a God's messenger. They hailed it in God's name. It ate the food it never had eat, and round it flew. The ice did split with a thunder fit. The helmsman steered us through. And you know, they were so happy. They would feed this bird. This bird ate things that he had never eaten. And it would go round and round around the ship. And what miracle! Slowly, the ice split. अरे ठीक से सीधे बैठो ना. The ice split, and the helmsman. Who's the helmsman? The person who steers the ship. He steered the ship through the ice. Now read.
As and a good south wind sprung up behind. The albatross did follow, and every day for food or play came to the nearest
Mariners
pole.
follow. So he said, and a good south wind sprung. See, in those days, no, they depended a lot on the wind. And suddenly the south wind started blowing. And the ship started moving ahead. And the albatross also, and this albatross, and this albatross also, yeah. This albatross also followed the ship. And every day it would follow the ship, it would fly along with the ship. And every day it would come for food and play. Whenever the mariners would call, follow me. Whenever the mariners would call, it would come to play or eat the food. Read.
In mist or cloud, on must or shroud, it peered purged for Vespers 9.
Vespers 9.
While all the night through fog smoke white glimmered the white moonshine.
Okay. In mist or cloud, on mast or shroud. So he would say that every day you would see this bird, whether it is mist, foggy, or on the cloudy day, it would be with the ship. Sometimes you would see it sitting on the mast. Sometimes you would see it sitting on the shroud. Shroud means the sails. It perched for Vespers 9. Vespers 9 means there is a fixed time in the evening when the prayer is said in the church. That time is known as Vespers 9. So the mariners would see this bird every time. Sometimes on the mast, sometimes on the shroud. Though it is misty, though it is cloudy, he would be around the ship only. Okay?
God save the ancient mariner from the plains that plague
Fines.
finds that plague the dust, while looking thou so with my
Why lookest thou so?
while lookest thou so with my crossbow, I shot the albatross.
Okay. So this man asks, God saved the ancient mariner. God saved you. But no, God saved you, ancient mariner, from the fines that plague thee thus. So he says, then what problems do you have? God saved you, no, from that. Your ship was dragged to the down south, and good. God saved you from that. Now, what plague have you? What that means? What troubles do you have that you look like this? Why are you looking like this? What troubles do you? My God, your legs are in here. Why are you looking like this? And what is his reply?
Why
With my crossbow,
I shot the albatross.
I shot the albatross. He says, with my bow and arrow, I shot that albatross. One day I shot that albatross. Mara?
मर गया बेचारा.
Shot the albatross.
Why not? ऐसे?
And
बाप रे.
this mariner he shot. You want to read what happened then?
नहीं,
मैम पहले क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट
Questions
Yes.
करते हैं.
not ऐसे क्यों दिया?
छोटा सा नहीं है भाई, और एक है आगे.
बस 149 ही तो है, इतनी जल्दी खत्म कर लिया है. 79 इतनी जल्दी खत्म कर लिया.
क्या?
स्नेक
Listen. इसके बाद हम स्नेक करेंगे.
स्नेक
मैम नेक्स्ट क्लास
स्नेक. अच्छा.
नेक्स्ट क्लास आप कैसे रख सकते हो रिवीजन?
क्या?
रिवीजन रख सकते हो आप?
रिविजन करना है. कौन सी रिविजन करनी है?
मैम कहने भी
ओके.
और क्रिएटिव या ग्रामर दोनों.
ओके.
थैंक यू.
मैम देखिए इसका फॉर्मूलेट ऐसा है कि एक प्रॉब्लम देंगे उसका सॉल्यूशन भी लिखना, और हमारी वो जो मेन कोर्स वाली बुक है उससे रेफर करके क्वेश्चन.
क्या पेन को रहा है पेन से
Okay. The ancient mariner stopped one of the three wedding guests because,
he wanted to share his story.
yes, he wanted him to listen to his story.
हाँ.
Next.
What?
The wedding guest remarked that he was next of kin when
He was
a close relation of the
That's it. Third one, bolo.
बोलो भाई.
Hello.
The
He cannot.
choose but here means C 117.
तो हमने कैसा
नहीं.
नहीं, मैं ये करता ना multiple choice first.
He cannot choose but hear. If the mind was forced to hear the story of the wedding guest, the wedding guest was forced to hear the story of the wedding guest. Second one.
The wedding guest was forced to hear the story of the mariner.
Yes.
The sun came upon the left, out of the sea he came in. This line tells us that the ship was going south.
Yes.
The wedding guest even blessed because heard the sound of the bustle meant that the bride had arrived and the wedding ceremony was about to begin and he could not attend it.
The wedding guest beat his breast because, yes,
Very good.
the sound of the bassoon meant that the
Ma'am,
bride
it
had
should be the
arrived.
sound of
and the-
bassoon announced the arrival of brides and start of the wedding ceremony.
And the wedding ceremony was about to begin and he could not
He could
attend
not
it.
attend it, so bro.
He could not attend it, therefore he was beating his breast.
मैम F में दो second और third दोनों होंगे.
The storm blast had been described as being tyrannous because
It took complete control
No,
of the ship.
it was so fierce that it frightened the sailors.
and the storm was very powerful. The
And it took
sailor
complete control of the ship.
डायरेक्टनेस मैंने बस बोला है कि वो बहुत क्रूअल सीवियर और हार्श है. क्या भी कुछ नहीं बोला.
it took complete control. Yeah, it took complete control of the ship. It was tyrannous because it was so fierce that it frightened the sailor. The storm was very powerful. The ship. It took complete control of the ship. It was tyrannous because it took control
It
of
was
the
also fierce, right?
yeah, but it took control of the ship. अरे भाई झगड़ो मत. पूरा उसको खींचते चली गई ना. They couldn't do anything. Next, Divya.
The sailors went depressed on reaching the land of mist and snow because there was no sign of any living creature. They felt they would die in that cold weather. They were surrounded by icebergs and there seemed to be no signal of life. Everything was gray in color and they felt very cold. Of course, there was no sign of living creature.
Mom, third wala.
The sailor felt depressed because they were surrounded by icebergs and there seemed to be no sign of life.
Third one. The sailor were happy to see the albatross because
Ma'am, can I answer?
wait, let me read. First one.
और फिर तीनों पढ़ो.
It's
As a
split the
Christian
iceberg.
heart, what does it say?
Ma'am, I guess third one.
Yes, it was a messenger from God and it lifted the fog and mist.
Yes. I knew.
He. The two things that happened after the arrival of the albatross were the iceberg split and the albatross became friendly with the sailors.
Yes.
So yeah.
Sorry, मुझे लगा तुमने आंसर दे दिया.
सही है.
Yes.
मैम नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर में मैं बोलूं नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर में.
The iceberg split and the albatross became friendly with the sailor. The iceberg split and the strong breeze started to blow. The ship was pushed out of the land of mist.
Second one. I का second. J का second.
It perched for Vespers 9 means would appear at a fixed time every day. That's it.
Yes. और K का one है.
What say?
God saved the ancient mariner from the fires of that plague the must. While lookest thou so means?
अरे sorry, second one. Second one, K का two.
Keep it to.
Mariner was looking so tormented. Yes, second one.
K का two.
ठीक है.
अरे नहीं मैं
कैसे
कैसे
को देना नहीं.
अरे
Bad language also now.
How did the ancient mariner stop the wedding guest?
by hypnotizing him. His green eyes and
Sad.
grey hair.
First, what did he do? He held the wedding guest
He
With his-
hold
held
with his
with his skinny hand.
glittering eyes.
With first he skinny hand and shining eyes.
Yes.
And then he held the wedding guest with his लिखो ना वहाँ पे skinny hand and shining eyes. Held
Can you repeat?
मैं point से बोल रही हूँ. Held the wedding guest with his skinny hand and shining eyes.
Glittering eyes चलेगा?
चलेगा.
बस दो ही है ना?
हम्म.
एक मार्कर के लिए या तो दो मार्कर के लिए.
हाँ. And later he held him with his glittering eyes. ये तुम लिख पाओगे ना 2 मार्क के लिए होगा ना तो कैसे लिखोगे the ancient mariner stopped the wedding guest by holding him with his skinny hands when he was asked to leave he then held him captive with his shining eyes. दिव्या लिखोगे ना ये 2 अलग सेंटेंस बनाना है उसका पहले with skinny hand then he was asked to leave and then he held him captive with his glittering eyes.
Was
Was the wedding guest happy to be stopped?
No, he wasn't
No,
Give two reasons.
because in stanza 20.
ये देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, तुम बोलो, स्टैंजा बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है.
When he heard the bassoon, he wanted to attend this.
First he was next to kin of the bridegroom. He was the closest relative
to the
of a bridegroom. He was the closest relative of a bridegroom. And second, he wanted to be part of the, he wanted to be part of the wedding ceremony,
But for it because he was
forced to listen.
but he could not. He wanted to be part of the wedding ceremony. अरे लिखो two reasons.
What?
He was the closest relative of the bridegroom. And second reason is
Bride or groom?
bridegroom.
Oh, bride or groom? नहीं?
अरे bridegroom मतलब the bride, दुल्हन.
तो groom क्यों बोलते हैं?
हाँ, bridegroom is दूल्हा.
Bride is duल्हन and bridegroom is
तो bride, groom और bride.
Bridegroom.
मतलब दूल्हे का.
हाँ.
दूल्हे का.
And he wanted to attend the wedding. He wanted to be part of, he wanted to join the wedding ceremony. He wanted to join the wedding ceremony. Describe the ancient mariner.
He
had a long beard.
glittering eyes
long grey.
and skinny arms.
Okay. And he probably looked fearful. So, right, the ancient mariner looks fearful. The ancient mariner looked fearful. Points में बोल रही हूँ, तुम please sentences बनाना. Had skinny hands, glittering eyes, and a long grey beard. By appearance, he looked like a madman. By appearance, he looked like a madman. Who held the unknown wedding guest by force. He held the unknown wedding guest by force to narrate his story. To narrate his story. How does the mariner describe the movement of the ship as it sails away from the land? Give the answer.
I don't know. The ship was cheered.
Yes. So everyone was happy that the ship was leaving.
It was beautiful.
They
The
cheered
night was strong.
when the ship left. Yes. And then?
It was below the church and below the hill and
Yes.
below the height.
Yeah, it was sailing below the church, the hill, and the lighthouse.
And the sun had came up on the.
No, that is later. बाद में. So, the ship was given a warm send off. Everybody was happy on the ship, and warm send off from the harbor. Got a warm send off from the harbor. The mariners were happy as the ship sailed by the side of the church, the hill, and the lighthouse.
Okay, travel.
As it traveled by the side of the church, hill, and lighthouse. Okay, what kind of weather did the sailors enjoy at the beginning?
Sunny.
Sun. It was a very pleasant weather. They had warm, pleasant weather, enjoyed warm sun rising from the east and dipping in the west.
Enjoyed the,
Pleasant weather.
it was a pleasant weather.
Enjoyed the warm. क्या बोला मैंने?
Warm sun.
Okay, enjoyed the warm, bright sun. Enjoyed the warm, bright sun rising from the east and setting in the west. Setting is the west.
Bus.
How has it been depicted in the poem? और क्या बोला है उसके बारे में?
Stop नहीं हो गया अपना।
वो तो बात ही
बात लेना. When did the sailors reach the land of mist and snow?
As they passed through the equator and the sun was on their top, a storm came and dragged them to the south, extreme south, and yes.
Yes. So the sailors left the harbor in good weather. The sailors left the harbor in good weather and sailed towards south for many days. The sailor left the harbor in good weather. तुम्हारा ये सब यहाँ पे लिख के समझेगा.
मैम आपने बोला लिखो, मैं इसमें लिख रहा हूँ, घर जाके ट्राई करेंगे.
Why don't you write in the book now?
Now,
अभी ये जो आंसर है ना, ये आंसर थोड़ा लंबा है, तो उसको बुक में लिखो ना.
why not?
क्वेश्चन नंबर लिखना, पेज नंबर, क्वेश्चन नंबर.
Why not?
ये छोटे छोटे आंसर्स थे, वो हम लोग ने वहां पे लिखे ना. Write page number also, huh? So you'll know. तुम और तुम्हारा कैसे ढूंढते हो तुम आगे, तुम्हें पता नहीं.
मैंने क्या कहा?
Write the page number. That's why I asked you to write in the textbook कि भाई वहां पे तो रहेगा permanent. The rhyme of the ancient man. The sailors left the harbor in good weather and sailed southward for many days.
The
Sailors left the harbor in good weather and sailed southwards for many days. Then the weather changed and they were driven further south by a strong storm.
Then the weather changed.
Then the weather changed and a strong storm Then the weather changed and a strong storm dragged the ship.
Mama, we accept after reaching the equator.
Okay. After reaching the equator, the weather changed and a strong storm dragged the ship further towards south. There they were surrounded by mist and snow and by ice as high as the mast of their ship. Soon their ship was completely trapped in ice.
Okay.
So soon their ship was completely
Most of the
mast.
Soon,
I'll repeat. They were surrounded by mist and snow and by ice as high as the mast of their ship. Full stop. Soon their ship was completely trapped in ice.
one trapped between the ice. If you trap ice में थोड़ी होगा.
Trapped in the ice बोलते हैं.
In the ice मतलब ice है.
आइस पूरा पानी अच्छा आइस फ्लोट हो रहा था तो उसके बीच में वो ट्रैप हो गया. Now, how did the sailor reach the land? How does the sailor express the fact that ship was completely yay?
Oh, same.
More or less same. और क्या लिखोगे?
कि कोई civilization नहीं था.
हाँ. But how does the mariner express the fact that ship was completely surrounded by the iceberg? इसमें सिर्फ एक ही line add करोगे इसके सिवा. Now they could only hear the sound of the ice cracking everywhere. See, question G. The answer is same as F. The only additional line is now they could hear the sound of ice cracking everywhere. How do we know Albatross was not afraid of the humans?
He or she used
No. So, whenever the sailors would call, the albatross would come to eat the food and play with the sailors. Okay. Whenever the sailors called, the albatross would come to eat the food or play with the sailors. That tells us that it was not afraid of the humans. Why did the sailors hail it in the name of God?
Ma'am, because when they entered the land of mist and snow, there was no sign of life. And when albatross was seen, they realized it was a message from God that we can survive.
Yes, because they had not seen any life for a long time, and it was the first living creature that they had seen in months. Yeah, in months since they reached the Sea of ice. So it was the first, it was the only living creature. It was the only living creature that the mariners saw. It was the only living creature that the mariners saw since they reached the sea covered with ice.
Is the ice region?
Yeah. And therefore, they thought that the albatross was the messenger of God. What was the terrible deed done by the mariner?
Killing the animal.
Yes. The he killed the
Why do you
albatross.
think so? चलो इस पे discuss करते हैं. Why do you think so?
We don't know. The reasons are unknown.
So,
मैम मेरे को लगता है वो albatross तंग कर रही होगी बार-बार आ रही है खा रही है खाना खत्म कर रही है
शिप के मेंबर्स ज्यादा उसके ऊपर ध्यान देते रहेंगे वो शिप के ड्राइवर को अच्छे से वो डिस्क्राइब करते
और खाना भी खाए जाए.
Okay. What is the rhyme scheme of this first stanza? The rhyme scheme is ABCB.
ABCB.
ABCD.
Mariner, B, I, me. ABCD.
Good.
अभी line 9 is
उनका ABCD
devices से बताओ.
हाँ why not?
So line 9 is holds him with his skinny hand, alliteration. Uh, 12th line, hand drop key, alliteration. Line 15, and listens like a 3-year child, simile. Second last line, below the curve, below the hill, repetition.
Reputation.
Repetition. Repeat हो रहा है ना word below.
Wow.
Line 26, out of the sea came he. Personification. Line 26.
मैम anaphora नहीं होगा कहीं.
हाँ पूरा वैसे तो है anaphora लेकिन नहीं. Anaphora is when the sentence continues in the second line without any comma वगैरह. यहाँ पे anaphora नहीं है. 34, red as rose is she. Similar.
34.
हाँ.
Yeah. One simile and as well as personification.
She is bright ना.
अच्छा हो.
सन को she बना दिया तुमने. Why यार? क्या she?
Again line 41, and now the storm blast came and he. इस storm को he बोल रहा है तो personification.
कौन सा लाइन
41.
42.
43.
Sorry, anaphora बोल रहे हो ना तुम?
हाँ.
Anaphora यहाँ 51 में है line.
Anaphora.
हाँ. See,
51.
and now and it and ice. So जो repeat हो रहा है ना lines. All lines are starting with the same word and that is anaphora.
Anaphora. Anna लिख Anna.
ANAPHORA. Okay. Let's do the part 2. अभी आगे क्या
हमने 55 के बाद
इतना कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है वो बाद में देखेंगे. ठीक है.
Yeah. Thank you. What are you doing?
I don't know what today like those standards.
कौन?
Slides what today like those.
जा रहा है मतलब ये लोग ऐसे आए नॉर्थ में मतलब साउथ में तो साउथ से फिर से वो लोग ऊपर जा रहे हैं.
हाँ तो वो साउथ में ड्रैग हो गए ना उनको शायद कहीं और जाना था. वो बहुत साउथ में ड्रैग हो
तो
गए.
फिर से वापस जा रहे हैं कि
अभी वो फिर से ऊपर नहीं ऊपर जा रहे हैं.
मतलब ऐसे
नहीं. So तो अभी देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे. The sun now rose upon the right. Out of the sea came he, still hid in mist, and on the left went down into the sea. अभी
CB direction में.
तो क्या हो रहा है अभी देखो सेम डायरेक्शन नहीं है पहले he came from the left.
No, ma'am, it's right on you.
First he would come from the left and go down in the right. So north से वो लोग south जा रहे थे. अभी somehow the man the जो जिसके हाथ में wheel है उसने somehow it removed the ship from the ice and now the ice is moving towards north because now the sun is rising from right and going down in the left. Okay.
Why G?
उधर पानी नीचे रखा है.
Okay. Read.
From the first.
No.
From 83 or 86.
87. 83 हो गया ना?
And the good south wind still blew behind, but no fleet bird did follow, nor any day for food or play came to the mariners for it.
So now, nice south wind flowed and the ship was sailing smoothly. But now there was no bird. No bird ever flew around the ship. No bird ever came when the mariners called it for food or play. Okay?
And I had done a hellish thing, and it would work them both. For all effort, I had killed the bird that made the breeze to blow. A wretch said there, the bird to slay that made the breeze to blow.
So he said, and I had done a hellish thing. Hellish means a very bad thing. And it would work them great. It is going to cause great sorrow and unhappiness. Because I had killed the bird that made the breeze to blow. Ah, wretch, said they, the bird to slay that made the breeze to blow. So he says that good you are wretch. They say the bird to slay that made the breeze to blow. That bird had made the breeze to blow. So you killed that bird. Okay.
Nor dim nor red, like God's own head, the glorious sun upraised. Then all they averred, I had killed the bird. That brought the fog and mist. Was right, said they.
It was right, said they, such bird to slay that bring the fog and mist. Nor dim nor red like God's own head, the glorious sun uprise. That means slowly they could see they had come out of that snowy area of ice. Now, like God's head, you have seen the halo? Every God has a halo behind. Like a halo shining, now they could see the sun glowing in the sky. And all said, I had killed the bird. And they all said, hey, that bird brought fog and mist. Good. It was right that you killed the bird. Because now, look, we have come out of it. And now it is nice and sun, bright sun. So they said, good, you killed that bird because that bird had brought fog and mist. Look, now that you killed, this mist is gone and we have bright sun. Read.
Where the breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into the silent sea. Down dropped the breeze, the sails dropped down.
Okay,
Was
1 minute. Now, the fair breeze blew. So it was all going well. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew. See when the ship is sailing, that foam flies from the side. The furrow followed free, the track, one could see the track when the ship was sailing, one could see those two lines, the track that the ship makes from behind. One could see that, अरे ऐसे लोग track बनाते आगे जा रही थी वो. So the furrow followed free. And so there was like this, a track was formed in the sea by the ship. And then they entered. There was this very silent area in the sea. And then they entered the silent area. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea. And what happened there? Read. Down dropped the breeze.
Down dropped the race, the sails dropped down.
It was
sad as sad could be, and we did speak only a few breaks, the silence of the sea, all in a hot and copper sky, the bloody sun at noon, right up above the mast that stand no bigger than the moon.
okay, 1 minute. And suddenly what happened? They entered the silent sea. And suddenly down dropped the breeze. There was no breeze at all. There was no breeze. Sails also dropped. Sails कब होते हैं जब हवा हवा चलती है ना तब वो sails ऊपर आ जाते हैं and then they start fluttering and they help the ship carry it forward. Suddenly they entered the sea and the wind stopped. There was no wind at all. The sails also dropped. It was sad as sad could be. There was no sound. They would speak something to break the silence of the sea. It was a silent, कुछ भी आवाज नहीं. Imagine if there is no wind. Otherwise, because of the wind, you can hear the sound of the waves. There are waves, there is sound. Nothing. It was all hot. Copper sky, reddish sky. Everything was hot. The bloody sun at noon, right above the mast. No bigger than look, the sun looked like a moon above the mast, red, bloody, red on the ship. Everything was hot. Yeah, read.
Day after day, we struck, we struck, nor breath nor motion, as ideal as the painted ship, upon a painted mountain.
Okay, so day after day, they were just stuck there. The ship wouldn't move because there was no wind. They just stuck there, nor breath, nor motion. There was no motion at all. It was as if the sea and on that sea, the ship is painted. It was like a picture. The ship wouldn't budge, the ship wouldn't move.
Water everywhere, and all the boats did sink. Water and water everywhere, nor any drop to drink.
Now it so happened there was water everywhere. But imagine the ship was it was standing in the water for so long without movement. All the wooden planks, the boats started shrinking. Hot sea, hot sun, and salty water. All this boards started shrinking. Water everywhere, nor any drop to drink.
Seawater.
Seawater everywhere, and they had no because it was hot sun. They need some coat to take the fresh water. If there is little ice, they can melt the ice and drink water. But here, seawater, not a drop to drink.
The very deep did rot, O Christ, that ever this should be. Yes, many
Slimy
slimy
thing,
things that crawl with legs upon the slimy
sea. It is as if the sea was rotting. The ship was not moving, and there was, all slimy things started climbing up from the sea into the ship. All the slimy things like the moss, algae, the algae and all the slimy things from the sea started moving into the ship.
about green and brown, green dead
Fires,
fire dance at night, the water like a with oil, burnt green and blue and white.
Okay. About in reel and route. Reel and route is a kind of dance. It's like going round and round, no? The death fires danced at night. It was like a death fire. It was hot, no water.
रात को फिर ठंडी था
रात को तो और भी ज्यादा डर लगता था ना कि शिप हिल ही नहीं रही है और गरम हवा चल गरम it was very hot. The water like witch's oil burned green and blue and white. You know, have you seen the witch's oil in the movies? How they show it's burning in that big kadai, green. She put something in that is green and blue and white. The ocean was looking like a witch's oil, and it was like green, as if it was burning.
and there was some in dreams assured
Assured were
of this spirit that
plagued us so.
9 fathom deep in the
9
fathom deep in the had followed us from the land of mist and snow.
Okay. And then some they said that they had started dreaming. And some in dreams assured were of the spirit that plagued us so. Which spirit?
Albatross.
The spirit of albatross. So they are saying that some said that, hey, we saw in our dream that the spirit of albatross is causing us the trouble. It has plagued us. 9 fathom deep. Fathom is the measurement of sea. Measure of that is how they measure the sea. 9 fathom deep, he had followed us from the land of mist and see that spirit, no, it followed us from the land of mist and snow till here. That is causing us the trouble. And
every tongue, though utter drought, was weathered at the root. We could not speak no more than if we had been choked with soot.
and every tongue through utter drought, every tongue was dry. Every tongue on the ship was dry. It was dry as if there was a drought. Was withered at the root. That means dried, completely dried at the root. We could not speak no more than if we had been choked with soot. Nobody could speak. If their throats were dry, as if everybody had inhaled smoke. Nobody could speak. Last stanza, just read.
Oh, very day, what even looks, had I from old or young, instead of the cross, the albatross,
About my neck was hung. So he says that, oh, well, a day we got to know what evil looks like. So the way the Christ had the cross hung in his neck, he had the albatross hung in his neck. कुछ समझा पोएम कुछ समझी
What?
just
Thank you so much.
you'll be coming next Monday, third day of Ganpati. Why not?
आना है क्या? ओके आ जाएंगे. Why not?
Okay.